Alright, got me make some better, yeah.
Hi, my name is Mars, or you can just call me Mars Leon. That's my cosplay name. I've been doing cosplay for almost 9 years here in Brunei, Darussalam. You could say that I am one of the early cosplayers here in this country. And yeah, I'm still doing it up to this day. And you might find me in my group, the Legions, here and there in events. It's a short term for costume and playing. So you mash those two words together, it's cosplay. I didn't actually want it to be a cosplayer. I just started to dress up one day. Back then we had a convention. It's called EACon. It's a big gathering for hobbyists so that they can gather in one spot. So that's where I found my passion there for cosplay. At first I thought it was just dressing up, but eventually I learned the meaning through a few of my friends who have been doing cosplay far more longer than me. It's a different definition from mascot. What cosplay does is people take character into their own selves and make the character to reality. They can talk with people, be interactive with people. That's cosplay. I was already an anime fan when I was younger. I love to draw anime. Like everything about anime, I know. So what cosplay initially did, it just gives me an extra outlet for me to express my creativity. I didn't know how to sew, I didn't know how to craft. I just learned everything through YouTube. I just learned trial by error. I did a lot of mistakes, but I just improved on what I did back then. I like strong women. I like the people who stand up for the underdogs, like Wonder Woman, Batwoman, and Sailor Moon. That's the easiest character that I look up to since I was younger. Actually, I started to be inspired by anime, but as I get older, 5 years into it, you just kind of like want to switch genre. You just want to like, okay, why am I always doing anime? Why can't I do comics? So that's when I started to do Wonder Woman. That's when I started to be more open to American related characters. I don't really plan. I usually like look at a costume and feel like this is something I can wear in an event. I'll just do it on the spot. Like I don't think about anything else. Just like for example, like this set, I didn't actually think that much. I saw the design online and I just figured like, hey, I got the material. I just do it on the spot. For the Elsa costume, I made it 100% myself. It took me almost a month. Some of the materials I had to wait online to arrive. If compared to something that I bought online, I have everything there. I don't have to worry about parts that's missing, that I have to do it by myself. We say we don't have any ombre fabrics like this. I have to do everything myself. That's one thing that I learned as a cosplayer. If it's not here, you have to do it yourself. I'm more of a self-taught artist. I was inspired by comics. Some of my friends lent me their comic books, and apparently we have shared interests of anime. So that's when it started. I started to venture into anime. Then anime ventured into cosplay. I was one of the founding members of the group, and our goal is to actually help out for charitable causes. Anyone who wants to invite us during events like birthdays, anything actually, anything celebratory in nature. That's the main aim for the Allegiance. Compared to the days that I'm working, I'd say 5 times a month. That's the maximum times that I've been cosplaying in public. Mostly kids. That's the priority for most events, and if we can't make a child happy, then that's what's the point of the group. Our initial idea is just to make as many kids happy, adults happy as well. Also, we have to have fun ourselves. The purpose is actually have fun. There's not much to it. You just put on a costume, geek out. If you happen to bump into another nerd geek of the fandom, even better. Join the fun, you know. I see cosplay as an art. My costume is a part of my artistry, and for example, what I'm talking about is like one of my costume is Wonder Woman. I don't know how to start the project. I don't even follow a pattern back then or a template. I just kind of like want to test myself one day, and how different is my version of the armor going to be compared to those who have countless of templates and whatnot. How do I approach this? Like, can I really like do a exact copy, or is this going to end up to be my own version of the costume? Some people say that it's almost the same as the movie version, but I say that I didn't follow the movie. I completely follow this blindly. You don't have to really follow the costume 100%. Maybe that's their niche, but I like a little bit of twist, you know, into my costume. There are people who want to retain their faith and still cosplay. That's called hijab cosplay. There's a lot of variations in cosplay. One of my good friends, Jen, she did a lot of hijab cosplay. Instead of putting on a wig, you can use a different color hijab to resemble the wig. And that works. For me, that's cool, you know. I did hijab cosplay back then when I was invited to an Islamic school, and they asked me to do Wonder Woman. I'm like, how am I going to make Wonder Woman not sexy? I have to switch my game up. I removed the wig, wear a hijab, put on the breastplate, but instead of showing like that, okay, maybe I'm gonna wear a black inner. The skirt, I made it longer instead to respect the religion. And it worked. People thought that, wow, you're a hijabi Wonder Woman. I just have to switch it up and still retain the character. That's another variation of cosplay. It's called a gender bend. Wonder Woman. Some people want to do Wonder Man. Instead of like following the pattern, they made their own. They still like say that, oh, this is a gender bend for Wonder Woman. That works. That takes a lot of guts for a man to do a gender bend version of a woman. I have experienced earlier in my journey as a cosplayer. I have a few friends. They were kicked out of events. I have witnessed very many times people get like kanatagur to cover up themselves. This goes back to MIB, and we have been already told to be mindful of that, especially when it comes to the aurat. Girls have to cover up and all that. Me, myself as a non-Muslim, I have to be respectful. Even if it doesn't apply to me, I have to at least represent my take for my community. If nobody's gonna do it, why can't I, help bring that forward? Outside Brunei, maybe they don't care, but in Brunei, I have no choice but to comply with the rules that was set up for us to follow. Technically, cosplay isn't really allowed in Brunei, but because of the steps that we took in order to protect our identity and make sure it's MIB compliant, it's slowly allowed. So in a way, there is positivity in compliance. It does limit our creative notions as a cosplayer, but it does allow opportunities to come forth for hijabi cosplayers. They get to shine more, and that's good. I applaud them to come forward and have a different take of cosplay. I remember back in 2016, cosplay was, let's just say, banned. But then slowly it's kind of brought up. It's a slow process, but thankfully everybody like, okay, cosplay is, in a way, it's good again. Just don't break the rules. There are times that I try to ignore people say that, oh, your costume's not good enough, my makeup's not good enough, or I suck as a cosplayer. I get a lot of those back then. There's even harassment. There will always be harassment. Instead of like tackling it head on, what I usually do is just ignore, block and ignore. Just keep going forward. That's my advice to all the new cosplayers. Just go forward. Towards my friends, yes, I was open. But when it comes to my family, they weren't really open about it at first. It was not until 2 years ago, I kind of like, you know what, this is what I've been doing. Then I told them like, oh, I did charities for the underprivileged. As long as your heart's in the right place, then it's alright. I think that we are slowly improving. Even though it's not perfect at the moment, we have a long way to go, and I'd say that we have to keep a positive attitude, at all times. There will be improvement in the future. I'd say just join in the fun. For me, I don't really restrict people who wants to do cosplay. Just join us. If you want to get a start in cosplay, then just ask me. And another thing is, don't be shy to interact with us. What I usually tell to new cosplayers is to always have fun. I implore everybody to try cosplay. Don't be afraid to be someone for a day. Even if it's for once, that I don't mind. Just join in the fun. That's what cosplay is to me. Fun.